Well, hey there, Robert. Been a while. How you doing, fella?
Oh, good. You're just talking to me about drinking out of the Ganges.
Yeah, that's right. You're going to
Yeah,
India. I heard that's the
yeah.
thing to do over there to not get sick.
To
Is
drink out of the Ganges.
drink the purified Ganges water, and you'll be all set.
Oh, how about that? I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Well, I'll probably not do that because makes me a little nervous.
I don't know, man. They seem to enjoy their pickle over in India. They or at least they had a couple social media guys that kind of got after it early in pickleball a few years ago. So I
Mhm.
remember all their posts and stuff about how they're into it over there. That's great.
Yeah, and when we went over for the English Open, they had some of their players over there, and they're good players. So it's high level. I mean, I think one of the guys got to the singles final, so singles was pretty impressive. Doubles they didn't go quite as deep, but I mean it's a good level, and like that's what I'm going over there to. I'm going over to train the highest level players they have and kind of get them up to speed a little bit. So it should be
Yeah, yeah,
fun.
yeah. So what's the connection, or how'd you get into this?
So it's through Global Sports, Pickleball United. Just guys I met over at the English Open and guys I've been talking to a while. Pickleball United does all the rollout courts for the APP. So
Mm.
I met him in New York, and yeah, just kept in touch and chat a little bit more about things we could do together. And this is one of them. So should be fun.
Networking, Robert. Networking, key to
Hey,
life.
just wheeling and dealing, shaking hands,
Uh-huh.
not shaking babies, shaking hands,
Oh, well, speaking of
hugging
shaking,
babies.
hugging babies, yeah, shaking
Yeah,
babies, hugging babies,
yeah.
whatever. Yeah, there's one in the other room. I might go grab them at some point just to let you know.
I sure hope you do.
I'm gonna ask you just a thoughtful, in-depth question, and I'm gonna go grab him at some point. We'll
Oh,
just
that's
keep
perfect.
that. We'll
I'm
just we'll
excited.
just yeah, we'll keep that on the string. He's doing great. So,
And
Rob,
and
did you?
Prof is not working today. She's home,
She's home until about 10:15,
and then she's working,
and then she's working. So
and
my
then and then you
God.
go full dad mode.
God dang, I'm domesticated as hell, Rob.
You
Like
are.
my schedule. So it was okay. So Monday she has night class.
Yeah.
So from Monday, granted it wasn't 100% with the baby, probably 70% with the baby. I did things from 7:30 a.m. to 10:30 p.m.
Yep.
Yeah, that's 15 hours, Rob.
Of
I
you
did
time.
stuff. No,
Of you time.
yeah. I didn't hang out in between. I didn't,
Yeah.
put in an hour iPad session or watch some Netflix. I did stuff for 15 straight hours, and I'm just not quite sure how I feel about that.
It's a 180 from the life you've
Mm,
led.
Let me tell you about that. Absolutely true.
Now, how is dad life?
Well, he's like literally, like I know everyone says this about their own baby, but I feel like it's even more true with ours that he's very cute. And if he was not very cute and very smiley, it would be more difficult than it is. So that does help the situation. But yes, like you said, Rob,
Yes.
it's just like your day is basically like 6 or 7 2-hour cycles. He does, it's the same routine. You can't break the cycle. Everything's about him. I am so far down on the totem pole. We only have 3 people living here, but I feel like I'm number 14th. So it's just, yeah, it's just one of those things. And I think that's how it is, especially early on, with the baby. And so here we are. I mean, if all I had to do was take care of a baby, I think I could do it pretty easily. But when you combine that with other life tasks, being in a committed relationship, working, taking care of house stuff, it's pretty damn overwhelming. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. But you know what? Here you are, weathering the storm,
Mm-hmm.
podcasting on a whatever day this is, and just not giving up.
That's right. And I think most people would describe me as a resilient go-getter, Rob. Kind of in that range somewhere. So this is very odd stuff, I would have to say.
Resilient go-getter. I'm not gonna fight that. I'm not fighting it.
Not gonna fight it. So that's going on. So pretty much super scheduled. We were a little more flexible with our hours when we first started this podcast, and
Yeah.
it's a little harder to line up these days, but it's all good.
Hey.
So Rob, I watched a little pickleball on Sunday. I was, doing aggressive, domesticated things in between.
Yeah.
But I watched a little pickleball, and there was an interesting score line in your men's doubles match on the APP tour, as it was 11-0, 11-0. I believe the kids referred to that as a double pickle. Is that correct?
A double pickle. Yeah. Double pickle. Double bagel still makes more sense to me because pickles look like ones. So I would always think a double pickle would be like 11-1, 11-1. But hey, a pickle, whatever the kids want to call it. So yeah, 11-0, 11-0. It was a shellacking. I mean, people are like, did the match actually happen? Did they retire? Did they cramp? Did they pull out? Was it a withdrawal? Like, was it just a walkover? No, we played every point.
Oh, it's so good.
We played every point, and I still don't really know what happened, other than the fact that we didn't miss very much and they missed a little bit more, and it somehow came out to be 0-0.
There you go. And not a shabby team either. It's not like you were playing, 2-4-5s out there. Dow and Scarpa, very quality team. Often, randomly we'll get a big win, but often push some of the best teams close. A lot of 9s and 7s, 8s and 8s against some of the big boys when they do decide to play a PPA. So pretty shocking score line, but I always talk about how you don't play your best pickle at a very high percentage, and you have to kind of figure it out on those other days. So I think you fellas might have been firing on all cylinders, and they were playing on the lower end of that spectrum, and here we are.
Yeah, and I think so. We played in the second round in the main. And it was, they were up 7-1 in game one. We ended up getting it 11-9. It was like 9-5. Like you said, like a score line that you could expect, right? Where they play good teams really tough, sometimes beat really good teams. They beat Brendan Long and Stefano Verne 11-1 in the third to get to us. So, that's a quality win. But yeah, it just didn't happen on Sunday.
It just didn't happen on Sunday. And I really only caught about 5 minutes of it. And my favorite part about all of it is 11-1, 9-0, 11-1, 10-0. Just Andre aggressively looking at you with crazy eyes, kind of pointing at you like not to let up, no matter what the score line is. And I think that's a pretty big indicator of the type of competitor that he is.
Yeah, I was talking about this with Mullen, and I don't think there's many teams that would have gone 0-0. Like we were thinking, like with Tyson, he'd probably like get the crowd involved. Other, like it would be like with Andre and I, it was just like our lives were on the line if we lost a point. That's what it felt like, honestly. It was I was so mad. There was a side out at 11-0, 10-0. They got the serve back. And I'm like,
they missed a serve. Somebody missed a
Scarpa. Scarpa missed a serve. And Andre's like, okay, Rob, we're back in business. Let's go.
We're back in. We were out of business because we sent the ball back over to them at a 21-0.
Yeah.
And we're back in business now, so it's all good.
And then the post-match interview, Greg's like, AJ McCord asked Greg a question, and he's like trying to explain what happened out there. And you can't see it on camera, but Andre's standing to my left, as we're all lined up doing this interview. And Andre can't stop laughing. Like he's dying. He's dying. Like he's turning away from the camera. He can't stop laughing. I'm like, dude, get it together. He's like, how's he trying to explain this loss? Like he can't explain this loss.
He has
Andre's
to,
dying.
though.
Andre's dying laughing.
He's on camera, and she asked him the question, and he's just fumbling over his words, and Andre's dying. Oh, it's just so good. Just so good. Anyway, congratulations. You guys have been having some really, really solid success. Whenever I'm turning on the TV, you're in the mix, you're doing damage, and that's good stuff.
Yeah. Played with a new paddle too. I just first got it on Thursday, and then I was like, you know what? I'll just play with this on Friday, Saturday, see what happens.
What was it?
It's the Control Air Deluxe, Lux, Luxx. It's a thick boy. It's 20 millimeters thick. 20.
And like the main two are 14, 16, correct?
Yeah. She's real thick. She's real thick. And
DJ Young would like her.
I'm not.
Okay, sorry. God, is that too much? Was that too much? Love you, DJ. Forever young, DJ. Forever young.
Forever young. No, I like it. I thought it would be like, I mean, it's definitely soft and softer than the Power Air, but I didn't feel like I lost that much pop to the point where it wasn't worth doing it. So I was like, I'll just run it and see what happens. And yeah, it felt good.
Yeah. Last thing. We're not going to harp on this too much. We've already harped on it 10 minutes, which felt right. Rob, I've played lots of tournaments and played lots of very good players, and I have felt very, very helpless on the pickleball court many times where I just. What do I do? I don't know what to do. I'm going to lose. And Rob, those matches are always 5-1. Yeah, they're always 4-2. So 0-0 is tough. Love you, Scarpa and Dow, but it is what it is. We've all been there before. Maybe honestly, not exactly been there before, but you know what I'm saying.
But great tournament, dude. Honestly, like a silver beating. They beat good teams too. And honestly, the most impressive, I thought, it was pretty hot and humid. It's Atlanta. It was 85 and humid. Mm-hmm. And, a couple weeks before we were playing Dow and Scarpa. Scarpa had to basically take a medical timeout because he was cramping. So the fact that they were able to, I think they won 7 or 8 matches on Saturday and didn't go down, withstood the heat and got there. I mean, good tournament, guys. Good tournament. Yeah.
Scarpa's a sweater. He's a big sweater,
dude. Yeah, they delayed a match after their match because the lines were too slick. Because of his sweat.
I've slipped on my own lines for my own sweat before, so I respect that about you, Scarpa. So we have. Has that been the only tournament in between MLP? It's only been.
It's just been a week in between.
A week or so. Yeah. So MLP. We had that in Peachtree Corners, Atlanta, and I just got a tidbit of information here is that the next MLP is moving to Dallas from California.
Oh, hot off the press.
So it'll be back-to-back Dallas tournaments with the PPA Nationals second and then the second MLP
after that?
Before that. So the MLP will be before, and then they will have the PPA Nationals. So
I like that. I'm going to be in Houston the week prior to MLP for an APP. So
there you go.
Adam Stone's homeland.
Mm-hmm. And then the old stomping grounds.
Guess I'll just stay in Texas for a little bit.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So so that's an important note. And
where at the same place as Nationals?
I think so. I didn't get that deep. It was just kind of a text and passing letting me know. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe I'm not even supposed to be talking about it, but whatever.
Too late.
Yeah. So anyway, Peachtree Corners, Atlanta, great facility. I had one of my very first tournaments there actually with some decent results 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe longer at this point. But anyway, MLP, always doing it big. Great event. We had the SoCal Hard H winning the Challenger, and we had the Orlando Squeeze winning the Premier. And I thought it was, I watched quite a few matches and commentated quite a few. I thought the level was pretty high, and I thought the situational stuff was on the higher end, meaning less lopsided stuff, more dream breakers, some really tight 1919, 2020 type points and type situations, which you don't always get given the format. So I thought it went really well, and I enjoyed the level very much in Atlanta.
Yeah, it was, great venue. I think to me, it's probably better than San Clemente. Just the layout of it, the ease of parking is a big deal. You're having to shuttle oftentimes at San Clemente because parking's an issue. I like the bowl where you have the stadium court kind of like sunken below. It's just, it's a great setup there. Do you like it better in San Clemente, or do you prefer San Clemente?
It feels to me that the court layout and the space and the parking is better in Atlanta, but maybe the actual lifetime facility is better in San Clemente. Is that true? Like the indoors, and we had a little side bathroom if you have a credential that was really nice in San Clemente. So I think they both have I think the court layout and just the space that they have is pretty legit in Atlanta. It's a pretty high end USTA facility. I know they have a lot of tournaments there and they have a lot of court space. So it's all lifetimes. I haven't been to a bad lifetime, that's for sure. So some a little bit better than others, but I think the facility's great. Yeah,
no, it was nice. It'll be curious to see how Dallas goes, because this is a pretty late in the game audible on venue switch. So obviously, if it is where Nationals is going to be, there's a ton of work going into it and a ton of planning and prep. So that'll be interesting. We'll let you guys know if there more details arise on that. But it's a late audible for that.
You know what I was liking about Atlanta too, because I'm a little more tied into the entertainment and commentary side now than the actual play, is that we had Tropickl. Tropickl was on the mic and he was doing some of the intros and the emceeing, and I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah, he was like the luscious lefty CJ Klinger, and then he's got all his little nicknames and the bulletproof Bolivian, gang cardio.
He did it at Beer City too, and it was awesome. I think that's a good little that. We need that. We don't need the boring intros. We need he's kind of intertwined because he does the Tropickl stuff, and I think it was awesome.
Yeah, and I think anyone that's doing that job is a pickleball person, but he really lives it and breathes it. He loves the players. He always watches. He knows a lot of stuff, and he's got a lot of energy too, which is obviously very important for an MC or someone that's on court. But I think it's a big deal, obviously you have the stream for the fans around the country, but in that moment, in that spot on championship court, it makes a big deal if you have a legit MC. So just wanted to mention that. So I thought he did a pretty good job, especially for his first time.
Yeah, he did a great job. And I talked to him at the end of one of the days, and he's just like, man, my voice is going. It's that's a long day. It's for that kind of role, dude, where you're just one after another, match. Commentary too, dude. Commentary is mentally exhausting, you can't take a point off. You have to be on, so big props to you, Mr. Adamstone, because that's not an easy job.
Yeah, no, it is mentally trying. And, sometimes I got 4 hours of a B+ or A game, and then it kind of dips after that 4 hours. So you got to try to hold it together. And I was able to get out on court for a couple hard eights matches, and that hurt the voice quite a bit as well, as I just can't, I'm conscious of it. I'm like, you have 2 more days to commentate, but I can't help myself, when I'm on the sideline yelling. So
what do you think's more on those long grindy commentary days? Do you think color is tougher, or do you think, what's the main one called?
We have color analyst, which are kind of the same thing, I guess. And then you have, I don't even know. I should probably know the lingo. I've been doing this for a year or two now. So I would say it's tough, because some of the lead-ins and takeaways, and you have to mention sponsors, and say for Michelle McMahon, for instance, she is not doing the color of the analyst. She leads in and takes it away. And sometimes the guy is talking in her ear while she's talking. Yeah. And she has to kind of pivot
on the fly. Yeah.
On the fly. And that is not easy at all. Yeah. So I think I think it's pretty similar, because I don't have that responsibility, and I have to worry about the lead-ins and the takeaways, but I have to, see what's happening and try to say something meaningful, which is very, very difficult to do. So
different, but I think the better you get at the stuff like Michelle McMahon and Cameron Irwin do, it's more, not that I just feel like it's more repetitive. You know what I mean? Yeah. You kind of have it on autopilot a little bit, but obviously, like you said, you get stuff in your ear, you have to make adjustments, you have to remember certain things. Both sound challenging.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And
are you enjoying it still?
Rob, you're kind of a natural. You jumped on the mic at Beer City Open just saying it was just 2 peas in a pod.
I feel like colors is going to be pretty easy for anybody that has that can talk. Like that's reasonably articulate, that has like a mind for the game.
Sure.
Like that, which I don't know, maybe it's not as common as we feel like it is, but I had a lot of fun with it. And I think the color stuff's fun because you just get to talk about what you see on court. Whereas the other stuff is like the big boys and girl pants, which seems much more difficult.
Yeah. And I mean, I do both. So I try to have some humor, not too much, have some analysis, not too much. You know, you just want to balance everything out. Try to not talk during the point, which is super difficult in pickleball. So you can't keep everyone happy. Someone's going to be upset with something that you do, but just trying to have a little bit of everything and not too much of anything, if that's possible. But no, I am still enjoying it. It is fun, and it does get maybe just slightly easier each time. You kind of build up situations in your mind that you've been through, and you can kind of pivot and go different ways where, the first handful of times you're doing it, you get stuck occasionally and whatever. So it's fun, but it's taxing. And I just really like being able to describe maybe there's certain things when you're watching a pickleball match that are spectacular, and they are, but I like the idea of describing to a casual fan some of the other stuff and how difficult it is and how hard it is for these players to make some of these shots and some of the mental stuff as well. And I think that's important to relay to the fans. Yeah.
Do you put any thought into, I don't mean to get onto like a commentary thread here, but obviously I talked about this last episode where nobody's watching. You know what I mean? Like we're all this money's being thrown around and nobody's watching. Nobody. Like 500 people on the APP live stream, not incredibly large amounts on the MLP live stream, not big numbers on the PPA live stream. So it feels like it's the diehards, right? That are watching, the people that are, that live and breathe pro pickleball and, that want to watch it and want to like keep up with what's happening. It's not the casual viewer that's flipping through YouTube or whatever that finds it. Maybe on CBS Sports Network or something like ESPN2, ESPN Plus, whatever. But are you consciously trying to, like, are you talking to that audience? Like, are you explaining what pickleball is to a live stream on YouTube? Or are you just going more of like, they already know what this is, I'm going to talk about more of the in-depth stuff?
Yeah. So it's important to know. So if you're on YouTube, you can get away with a little more specific stuff, but when we do transfer over, and sometimes this is something that I need to be better at, is that to know exactly the audience and then cater it. And I do that a little bit, but probably not as well as I should. So, I mean, you have to explain some basic stuff. And like the diehards are like, if they talk about the dimensions of the court again or something, whatever, then they kind of lose it. But you have to do that when you're on Tennis Channel, CBS Sports, some of the other networks, where it's more casual fans. Now, if it's just a straight up YouTube audience, you can be more specific because you said it is the diehards and they do know some of the lingo, so you can say words and not have to explain them afterwards. So I think it's an important part of it actually, and one that I should be better at.
One thing I caught myself doing in Beer City was like when we were watching I would say like J-Dub, or I would say, right. Should you be saying just the player's last name, or does it create some kind of like connection to the players for the audience if you say J-Dub or Dylan or whatever?
Yeah, no, it's important. And a couple of times I went over to Grandstand and I said DLR for De La Rosa. So, I think that's interesting though. It does kind of give them a, they're like, nicknames are fun. Nicknames are fun. Yeah. They are, and it makes you think you maybe know them a little bit better, and it's a little playful for the commentator as well. So that's a good point. But I started calling him Daniel De La Rosa after I did that a couple of times, just because, I'm talking, I say something somewhat insightful and then I throw out a DLR and they have no idea who I'm talking about. So, that's pretty important to do. Oh my, look. Oh, look at here, Rob. That is right in front of our house. That is a copperhead in the street. Oh my God, dude. Copperhead in the street. I just got this from Prof.
Dude.
Yeah.
Copperheads are scary, right? They're poisonous. They're bad.
Yes, copperheads are very poisonous. They say it's for an adult, you're just most likely going to get swollen. It's not going to do any real damage, but I don't like that. I want to go kill that.
What if you're already swollen?
Damn, I did not see that question. Oh God. I didn't know. I didn't get the question, and I was not expecting the arm to come up there either. So Jesus.
I know. I'm sorry.
Okay. Go ahead.
Copperhead. I don't know. What are you commentating next?
Okay, so I'm doing both the MLP and the Nationals. So I will be in Dallas for quite some time as well.
Yeah. Let's talk about Nationals real quick,
okay,
Adam.
Sure.
It's a different. Like I'm not playing. I'm not going. I've played a lot of pickleball this year, and that's not something I wanted to do. And I'll just leave it there. What is the format? Because I saw somebody sent me like a spreadsheet of it, and it's like you're playing one round of men's doubles on one day, the next round the next day. You're playing round one of mixed on the same. Like it's a. Do you not know about this?
Oh gosh, I know nothing. All I know is like they're
Dude.
Pickleball Boulevard. They're playing the longest game, and like the $6 million or whatever the stuff that Dave Fleming says on the broadcast. That's all I know.
Dude, so they're doing like let's call it, I don't know if this is the right date, but let's call it Monday. They're doing first round of men's, first round of mixed, first round of singles. And the next day they'll do second round. So like, dude, if you're you gotta, basically everybody has to plan on being there for more than just their event day, like where before, if you're just playing, call it men's singles, you only have to be there for that one day. Now you have to try to plan out how long you're going to be there based on what round you think you're going to get to. So it's interesting logistically. And I just don't know if I like that. It's obviously more tennis-esque. And
Yes.
We know that I'm anti going towards tennis anything in pickleball because it's a different sport. But yeah, I'll be curious to see how that goes. I mean, I guess props for mixing it up. I don't know if you should do it for nationals, but maybe do it for a random PPA. But I got you. And I think nationals has always traditionally been a little bit of a longer tournament with the split age and some of the other stuff early on. So maybe because of that would be a time to try it. But yeah, it is interesting. And I don't know. I would have to think a little bit deeper on whether I like or dislike that. But yeah, they're mixing it up and they're trying to change something. So why not? And it's 3 out of 5 single elim too, I believe, right?
Oh no, man. For the commentator, I don't know of the event. I don't know a whole lot, do I?
Adam's like, I'll get a spreadsheet the day before and I'll have it locked down.
Locked in. That's exactly right. But I mean, those players, they're playing the PPA. They got to be there for 10 days in Dallas. So, I mean, unless they want to go home in between, which the way you're describing is not really an option. So, that's a big time. And if you have another job issue and commitment for nationals and possibly some tournaments moving forward, if this format catches.
Yeah. So you got a little break then before you're back to work.
Yeah, I got Dink for Pink this weekend in Savannah. That's Savannah.
Oh yeah, dude. They changed it. They were going to do like a money tournament. They changed it to like a pro-am, right? That's what Dal was saying. Yeah.
So I think they have like 4 pro teams.
Okay.
And they're going to do a round robin and then play the finals on Saturday night at 6:30 or 7 under the lights. And
that's going to be a party.
And I'm going to have some adult beverages and I'm going to be the referee / MC for the event. And I'm going to like toe the line of annoying the players. That's the plan.
Yeah, that's got to be one of the most fun clubs in the country, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Like that sounds like gets me excited thinking about it. Saturday night, 6:30 under the lights. Like the atmosphere there is going to be actually sick. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah. Like say there's 500 people there, 94.2% are intoxicated. It's going to be, it's just that energy, that Savannah energy that they always bring when I go there. I kind of describe it. It's like Friday night in Vegas.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Everyone is happy. Everyone has probably traveled from their shitty life. They are there Friday with their friends. They're dressed up. They're having a good time. I mean, they're not going to be dressed up at the Savannah Golf Club, but you know what I'm saying. So it's just the energy and the personalities of everyone, and the vibe is very good in Savannah, and just a little light comparison there.
And I think the buildup, right? Like people have been like I remember hearing about this last year, and it's a big buildup to this thing. Like it's the place to be on the East Coast on Saturday night. I mean, it just is.
I mean, there's a good bit of eating and drinking in Savannah, and I'm getting there Friday, and I'm going to play for a couple hours because I know the next 48 hours are going to destroy my body. So I'm just going to get a little bit of exercise in before I uncontrollably eat and do a little drinking as well.
Yeah, just a little.
Yeah.
Who are the pro teams? You know?
I don't. I know Rafa Hewitt's going to be there. Kyle Yates. There's one.
They lost to Dow and Scarpa last year in the final.
Badly.
Yeah.
It was kind of role reversal where Dow and Scarpa, I'm not sure, missed a ball. I was there watching. I was just like, Jesus, these guys have not missed a ball this whole match. So there's very much some legit pros, some solid 5-0 locals, and I think like John Davison and a couple people maybe from Northern Florida that might come up that are, kind of at that 5-0 level. So it should be a fun event, and I'm gonna talk some crap, and it'll be a good old time.
Nice. So Dink for Pink, then MLP and Nationals. Look at you go. I'm going to Dallas tomorrow for the Dallas APP. Speaking of Dallas, and then off to India for basically a week, and then back, and then a little break before I go to Houston.
The Texas two-step with India. With India in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff.
Yeah, when India calls, you go,
No, I agree with that. I haven't been anywhere over there. So been to Europe, South America, and I would like to go over in that area.
I know Prof's the adventurer of the two of you. Is India on her list?
I don't think it's like super high. It's certainly not off her list, but it's not something that I think she really wants to go to Antarctica.
Yeah.
And she wants to do, she's got a list.
What do you feel about Antarctica, Adam?
No, I like it. I mean, I like the idea of it.
Yeah. Not many people have been there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and she's always like thinking long-term, next level, like it might not be the same in 30 years or 20 years, which is true. Is true. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen, but it's just funny that that's the way she thinks.
Yeah.
That's why it's so high on her list, because it might not be the same in 30 years.
It might be gone. It might be melted.
It might be totally gone. Right.
It might just be ocean. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah, sure. So that's the list. I don't think we're going to be doing any hardcore traveling for the next few years though. So
yeah. I don't know. I hear traveling with a baby's fun.
That's a good joke, Rob. That's a good joke. Yeah. So, okay. Last thing about MLP, let me just give a shout out to my Hard Eights who played great. And the Challenger went undefeated throughout, had some very tight matches, a couple dream breakers in the semifinals and the finals. But the team was very solid throughout, no weak links. And of course, the ladies played great. I mean, that's our first and second pick, but a shout out to the fellas who I think out-earned their draft slots at the 3rd round pick of CJ Klinger and the 4th round pick of Todd Fote. So congratulations to all 4 players, the heavy hitting ladies and the guys that stepped it up. And that was the recipe for us to play well.
Yeah. And I think we've kind of, dude, I think Ava Radzikowska is just such a rock, dude. She's
3 of 4. 3 of 4.
Dude, she's built for this, she's been so good in this format. And I think just really level-headed mentally, pretty strong mentally. It makes a lot of balls. It's just really tough, dude. That's a good pick.
Yeah, and I know there's been a lot of talk about team and mental stuff on the side of MLP, and I've always thought that was a factor, but I'm more of a analytical, pick the best player type of person. But the chemistry, and I understand winning fixes that, but even before the tournament started, the chemistry with this team was very good. Yeah. And so that maybe sways me slightly more towards, being a good teammate, that those type of characteristics giving you value for the draft. So everyone was on the same page. It was nice that we had which I'm a big proponent of now. I'm done with flexibility. It's nice in certain situations, but Eva got to play double left side.
Yep.
Because of Pablo in the first 3 events, and then double left side women's and mixed
CJ.
because of CJ Klinger. Yeah. And I think that's a big deal. Yana got to play her side. Everybody's playing their sides. Everyone's locked into their role. Yep. And I think that helped us quite a bit.
That's very much a big deal for sure. Do we have any information about MLP going forward into 2024? I think we're getting away from the draft. We're going into a free agency model. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are kind of upset that there's not going to be a draft, but I honestly think it's going to be more exciting because there's more things that could happen.
Yeah. So yes, that is what we're leaning. The last I heard, things change so quick. But that's kind of how I understand it. It's going to be kind of like English Premier League soccer. There's going to be some form of salary cap or possibly tiered off players something to mitigate super teams and really bad teams. So there's going to be something along those lines where you can't just have one team buy whatever, top 4, top 10 players. So something along those lines. They're kind of starting with the schedule about a blend of PPA and team format tournaments, kind of piggybacking a couple of those together, where we'll have one team event, then one standard event. So another situation where there could be some week-long stuff going on for 2024. And how I understand it is they have a lot of new sponsorships and some money that's getting pumped in to start 2024, kind of with the new look and all that, money that comes from the sponsors and everything. So that's the last update I got on MLP. I think it died down just slightly, even though there's still plenty of things working.
Yeah. I think, dude, it's October now. I think, start 2024 is going to be here so fast. So like a lot of the stuff's got to be schedule, all the, like how the events are going to run, how many events of each, how we're going to do the free agency's got to start. I would imagine before the end of the year. Mm-hmm. So there's so much that needs to be ironed out. It's pretty wild, this always happens, right? It's like something happens and then everybody's scrambling to make it work within a couple months, and here we are. So who knows?
It's never easy.
Adam, is this the last merger / tour wars we see, or is there more to come?
I'd say there's more to come. No real knowledge of that, but I just
based on history. Yeah.
This is just what it is. And like you said, it's a little frantic. The dust has not settled, and I just don't think this is the last of it, even though this is the situation that we're in right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's less, we talked to Tim a little bit about this. Like, obviously the owners want to win, but things have changed since the beginning of the year where everything, all the results for the year did count towards promotion, relegation, top 12, bottom 12 type deal. And that's gone now. Mm-hmm. So, we asked him a little bit, and Tim's like, well, regardless, like I still, take pride in this and want to win and all that. But yeah, there's certainly less on the line and more on the line moving into 2024. So, I don't know. I'm excited for 2024 and to see how it happens. Like, are we going to have 6 people on a team where you have subs that can fill in for, let's say somebody's a really good singles player, mixed player, or gender player, and we can have that player fill in for the team on a specific event? That sounds pretty fun and pretty cool to me. Yeah. Getting rid of alternates and just having a team where you have subs or players that can fill in.
Yeah, no, and Tim was talking about this. He's like, maybe if you can keep it under your salary cap or whatever limitations that you have, and you want to snag Lindsay Newman to play with Riley, and maybe she doesn't play any of your other events, but she plays mixed with Riley, or you get a Colin Schickish or someone who's significantly better in one event than the other, most likely singles. You have your single specialist for the Dream Breaker that doesn't bust your salary cap. These are the type of things and situations that GMs and coaches are going to have to figure out. And I think it's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Anytime you can get edges, like when things change, you can get edges, Rob. When everything is like super standard and it's been that way for a long time and somewhat figured out, like I think being a smarter, more innovative or intelligent someone that can find an edge somewhere is not as available. So if things keep changing, that's one of the silver linings for me, is that there's new ways to gain an edge and a new way to kind of be better than your opponents or your rivals, whatever.
Yeah. Do you like the format as is, or are there any tweaks to the format that you would make going into 2024?
I off the top of my head, I don't really think so. I like what they've done, and whether maybe some of the main things that have been switched is like the scoring format. And I just like that they're tweaking, It's so young, and I'm not even sure if this last one was perfect or way better than a previous freeze or whatever you want to call it, but they're tweaking, and it seems like they're listening and they're trying to make some adjustments, and I like that. And I think that's good. And that when people see that, like, they like that as well. So I'm fine with the format, and I have no doubt it will change some moving forward in the next couple of years, but I think they're on the right track, and I like it.
Yeah. And I think as a viewer, it's obviously so fun to watch, and to like people, if I was just a casual fan, I would go to the venue, see the first match, and I would be there all day long, just because the matches, as a player, the matches move quick, right? Which can be tough because you get in a hole, it's tough to climb out of it in this kind of scoring. But as a fan, it's like every game goes pretty quick to 21, and then you're off to the next one. Like, it's one of those things. It's almost like binge watching Netflix, where I could just keep watching.
Yeah, my parents say the same thing. They've been to a lot of standard tournaments and MLPs, and they just like the fact that every point matters. It really does.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
throughout the pool play, I mean, we've seen multiple 1 and 2 teams make it through from point differential percentage and the ability to follow a team. So of course they're following the Hard Eights, the team that I'm associated with. But I think that there's a lot of fans there with a very loose association with a certain team or a certain player, and they stick with that squad and that team and watch them throughout the day. Yeah. And that's just not a dynamic you get at a standard tournament. And I think that my parents really enjoyed that, and a lot of the casual fans do as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. Just thinking of, on that note, like, I think geography is a big deal. And I think as we move forward into 2024, geography has to be more tied into these teams and what's happening, and actually have stuff based in these cities. Because we were playing you, Adam, the Hard Eights, and I noticed this guy that was randomly, like, this big burly guy who turned out to be a trainer at Lifetime, just inside. And he was like, "This is so cool, like, getting to watch this." And I'm like, "Dude, thanks for cheering, thanks for supporting." He's like, "Yo, gotta support my hometown." So he was the St. Louis guy, and he was supporting the Shock just because that's his hometown, and that was his emotional tie to it. So he followed us all day and cheered for us. It was sick. So I think that's gonna happen more and more. And I think that, to me, that's like kind of proof of concept that geography is really important moving forward with these teams.
Yeah, and maybe it's a tournament, and they're, I saw a post, Annalie Waters is the best, or I saw her on YouTube, she's the best, I'm gonna watch her, and that's great. But what if they are from South Florida and whatever? Yeah, Anna Bright and James Ignatowicz play on their local courts, or they just have some light, loose, real geographic connection to a team. That can be all it takes to kind of latch on and be that fan. And once again, it's great. No,
agreed. Is MLP are MLP and PPA the same thing? Are we going to stop referring to them as separate entities now, or is it going to be just one brand name? Are we going to they're one and the same now? Because people keep asking me, like, "Are you going to play PPAs next year?" I'm like, "What is the PPA?" Like, honestly, it's like, isn't it all the same? Like, it's MLP is PPA is MLP, unless I'm missing something. So I just think there's a lot of like little weird questions that need to be answered in terms of this merger and like how it's all shaking out. And I hope those answers come sooner than later.
Yeah, I mean, I just keep hearing one umbrella.
Yeah.
We're all underneath there, and I understand the formats are different, but yeah, maybe. Yeah, it was more whatever the hell strategic partnership means. I don't know, or it was some of these terms that people use before they had come to an agreement. They weren't necessarily working together before,
right?
You know, and so will it be something similar where they're just playing nice until we get some more info or something that happens, or are they actually going to work together and really play off of each other and be one entity? I have no idea, and we'll just have to see. But that would be a difference from what it was previously, for sure, as it was just two playing nice as opposed to working together.
Yeah, and on that note, like just thinking about like everything that needs to happen, like we talked about, you know, the schedule and all that stuff that needs to be ironed out. What about the 90 plus, maybe 100 plus player contracts that have gone out that are not specific to a merger? They're specific to whatever organization that you signed with, whether it be PPA or whether it be MLP. I would think all of those contracts need to be adjusted, revised to be under this umbrella company, right? And then if that's the case, it's a lot of work to do too. Like negotiations with 100 plus players on redoing these contracts sounds like a lot of work.
A disaster.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun.
Especially, you know, it would have been easier 2 or 3 years ago when there wasn't so many divas running around.
Yeah,
pretty funny to see some of this stuff. It's like, dude, some people are the exact same, and some people could not be more different than they were just 2 years ago because of a big head or something. So it's pretty funny to see, as I've been around for so long, to see the whole progression happen. Just people will always be people, Rob.
Yeah, and money doesn't change you; it just magnifies the person you already are, right?
Right. Yeah. No, that's very true. Good statement there. So yeah, no matter what the hell happens, there's a lot of work for a lot of people moving forward to get this perfect. And that's why we're here, Rob. We're just gonna have to keep monitoring it and talking about it. And I gotta have a talk with my boy Timbo. I always like to chat with him every week or two. He's always got some nice tidbits and some nice information about everything, the comings and goings of pickleball. So,
Adam, before we get off here, there's a few things that I want to talk about.
Please.
So, a couple of things happening this weekend. We have the APP in Dallas, which, you know, and we also have the PPA in Vegas, which is a big draw. A lot of players going to that. And it makes me a little sad that Andre and I aren't going to play that, because I think, you know, honestly, I think Andre and I are a top 5 team at PPA. You know, we haven't really had many chances to show that or play that. We played Beer City and beat, you know, Pablo and Federico to get bronze. But it would be fun to play the PPA and kind of see where we stack up, because I think we are a top 5 team in PPA. But we won't, like, we're making too much money in the APP to even consider that. And, you know, we both are loyal to the organizations that have taken care of us, and APP has been great. So, but there's some fun stuff happening in the PPA that I wish I would be privy to watching in person. One of those being, Adam Stone, that there is a player returning to the court that's been on, let's call it, a little sabbatical. His name is, that's his alias, but Zane Affleck is playing men's pro doubles with Tyler Wren. Oh, He's back.
Mac Mittens, Zane Affleck. Everybody zip up your pickleball bags. Zane Affleck is back in the mix. One of my favorite players to watch. A bit of a klepto, but it's all good. Zane Affleck is back, one of the most athletic players that we have ever seen in pickleball. a little slight few issues in between the ears, or maybe a lot of issues in between the ears. But either way, I'm excited for this. But
also not really, Adam, because when I saw that he was returning, I was talking to Malin about it, and she's like, okay, I got to look up this guy. So we pull up his BYU baseball page. And dude, I'm not kidding. This shocked me a little bit. Class valedictorian.
Ooh.
Would you have ever thought he was?
Never.
Dude,
never.
There's another one. He's like studying neuroscience in college. Dude, team captain baseball, batted like 4.4, like he's insane athlete, insane baseball player, class valedictorian, studied neuroscience. Like every accolade you could think of was on this guy's BYU baseball page. Go look it up. But she's like, this isn't really the guy this isn't mapped to, or I was saying, this isn't really mapped to the guy I was telling you about. And she's like, yeah, it does, because, he was so locked in high school, college that, and obviously very smart and just, had been very focused and disciplined and driven, and then just gone. Or like, just it's basically like you're not allowed to drink your whole life. Then you get to drink and you just go hard. Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. No, it's exciting. And Tyler Wren, OG of the sport, not a big fan of dinking. Maybe the least dinking player, pro player in the history of pickleball, Tyler Wren. It should be fun, and I'm expecting I'm going to give him a win. I'm going to say 1-2. I'm going to say 1-2.
They're going to have to play qualies, right? There's qualies at PPA.
Oh, they have to. They have to play qualies. And I could see them going. All of the range of outcomes are on the table. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I just hope they make it on stream. I don't think they will, but I just hope they make it on stream at some point.
Somebody go stream that match. Somebody stream it with their iPhone. Please. Anybody, do it. Please. He's back.
Four pleases.
He's back. Stream it.
So good.
And so not only that, but I don't know if you've been keeping abreast of what's happening in South Florida, Adam, but there's a little place called the Pickleball House. And I've grown very fond of this place. I've never been there, but I've heard the lore is real, and the stories that are coming out of it are real. And these people maybe are not real, but they maybe are real because they show up at tournaments sometimes. We've got Mr. Hugo. I don't know if you know Hugo. If you don't, that's a shame. He's one of Ignatowicz's boys. We've got Pickleball Dave.
Okay.
Davis Carvalho. We've got Jericho Grolman, who made a nice little run at the APP New Jersey with Mike Forster, getting to the semis, losing 11-9 in the third to the Johnson brothers.
Hey, 6-0 name. 6-0 name, that's for sure.
Yeah, and Jericho is a guy that looks like James, and stature and playing style, bouncy footwork, split steps, like all of that. Plays the same paddle, wears a Vandy shirt, sometimes calls himself Jimmy. Sometimes. Mm-hmm. He's a disciple, but he's also very good. And he is playing with Zane Affleck this weekend at the PPA Vegas. Nice. So that'll also be a very fun partnership.
Gucci Zane.
Because Jericho's a right side player. At this pickle house in Florida where he lives, he has chosen not to live in one of the bedrooms. He has chosen, and in the living room, they have not much furniture, but they do have a temporary pickleball net. And Jericho is so disciplined and so committed to the right side, playing the right side, that he has chosen to set up his mattress on the right side of the kitchen in this house. So he doesn't just eat, sleep, and breathe the right side. He also he sleeps it. He literally sleeps it.
Wow, I like this dedication. I mean,
there's a picture that Dow showed me, and it's his mattress on the right side of the the court and the kitchen and this living room in Delray at the Pickle House, and it's just like some covers and a dumbbell, because apparently I think they use a 12-pound dumbbell, and all they do everywhere they go, whether in their car, whether they're at home, they're just doing wrist curls to get that wrist stronger.
My God.
So dude, the dedication is insane. It's real.
Yes. Hey,
and they're dinking 6 hours a day. They don't have jobs. They're just dinking and
James
wrist
is one of them.
curls.
James is one of them.
I think James might be funding this whole operation.
Sure. He might be. He might not be.
He might be funding.
Was one of these characters the one that was following around James and kind of heckling and kind of got in Kyle Yates' head, I believe? And I heard something about that at MLP as well. So James had a heckler with him, and I would imagine it's someone from the house.
I would imagine so. I don't know, but I would say chances are very high that it was somebody from the Pickleball House that has James's back for sure.
And here's another little tidbit, since two of your main things about PPA Vegas involved both Zanes. Zane Affleck was very much the best Zane in pickleball for quite a few years, and we called Zane Navratil Baby Zane.
Yeah,
that was started by Andrea Coop. We called him Baby Zane for not just a month or two, for a couple of years before he became Gucci Zane when he was the best Zane in pickleball. And that's happened for a couple of years as well. But Zane might be back to take his title, meaning Affleck.
I was going to say, are we sure that Zane Affleck is still not the best Zane in pickleball?
We'll find out, won't we?
I mean, that we haven't had any, data to prove otherwise.
Mm-hmm. just saying. Yeah, maybe that was more instead of the pickleball community making him Gucci Zane, maybe that was more self-driven by Zane Navratil, as he knew he was inferior to Zane Affleck
which
throughout.
Is smart. He's smart though. Yeah,
it is.
That's good. That's just good self-branding. You got to take care of that. Nip it in the bud.
That's right.
So yeah, fun stuff happening in Vegas. I wish I was there. I need video of all of it though. I need Zane's first round qualifier match streamed by somebody out there. Get it done, please.
Vegas. Share. So the stream queen will probably be there. Cimarron Gonzalez. That's the original stream queen.
Oh, that's very true.
She's from Arizona. Cimarron, if you're listening, let's get these matches up. You are the stream queen. Bring it back. Let's go.
Yes. But also Jericho and Zane. We need
Jericho and Zane.
What's
the last name? What's the last name again?
Grolman. This is Jericho's introduction to the world. This is it. The guy didn't get out of qualies in Atlanta APP, but he will make a splash in Vegas.
All these sons of bitches focusing on their physical only. This man is committed physically and mentally with the mattress. He's got the curls physically. He's got it all going on. This is what pickleball will be moving forward.
This is your time, Jericho. Let's get it. Also, Jericho did an Instagram story that, hey, prof.
I'm yelling. I'm too loud. The baby's asleep. Hey. Everything I do is wrong. Everything I do is wrong. No matter what. Here we are. This is my life.
You're trying to be in the office, just working passionately, just bringing home the bread and the bread, right? I
mean, she knows. I mean, she's listened before. She knows I'm a high-end content creator and pickleball personality. Yeah. What else am I supposed to do, Rob? What else am I supposed to do?
Are you supposed to just leave the passion out of it? I don't think so.
Hey, come on, man.
The world needs it. The world needs your passion. The world needs your excitement. The world needs Adam Stone.
It's never easy, Rob. It's never easy. Why can't it be easy?
Oh, so one more thing with Jericho. He had a Also, dude. Okay, anybody out there, go look at Jericho Grolman's Instagram feed. It's amazing stuff. You go back to this first post. This has to be like a new Instagram for him because it doesn't go that far back. But it was a picture of him playing tennis with a Temple University shirt on, and whatever the caption was, he was like, it was basically, I can't remember offhand, but it was like, I'm done with tennis, focuses on pickle, I'm coming for you, McMuffin, or something like that, dude. This was like over a year ago when he was still playing tennis. Like the dude was already dialed for Picky. So anyways, he also had a very fun Instagram story that was just an anime character running. And it was just like, he tags Colin's brother, and he was just, and it was like, legends die for a reason because the true legends are there to take his place. And he's talking about himself.
Of course.
Dude, Jericho is all time. Jericho Grolman, ladies and gentlemen. Jericho Grolman.
Let's end it right there, Rob. That was perfect.
Perfect. Done.
Perfect. Done. Perfect.
Perfect.